Hello, welcome to Encore. Today, a film about a mentally disabled 18-year-old discovering sex.
Aber du bist die beste Mama auf der ganzen Welt.
Sie ist behindert.
Könnte man das nicht von vielen behaupten?
Dora, or the sexual neuroses of our parents, was shown at the Berlin Film Festival. The director of this daring, provocative drama is in France as her film plays at the Créteil Women's Festival, just outside of Paris. Thanks for joining us. Stina Werenfels, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. Now, Dora, or the sexual neurosis of our parents, is your second feature film. This is a very difficult taboo topic to deal with, the sexual awakening of a young, mentally disabled young girl, and the repercussions on her family. What attracted you to this story?
Well, first of all, this young woman who wakes up and discovers life, which is really a fantastic thing to show. Someone who, like, for the first time tastes fruit and discovers the world and discovers kissing and sexuality. So she's a very cinematic character. And I saw the theater piece by Lucas Berfuss. It's based on a theater piece. And there was already this core of ambivalence where I constantly questioned myself, being in the audience, what is right and what is wrong? How would I react being the mother of Dora?
Well, tell us a bit about this story, because she has this awakening at 18 because her mum actually decides to stop giving her medication, doesn't she?
Yes. So she's been under medication for a long, long time, which has also postponed her puberty, and which makes she was behind a haze of, chemical treatment. And her mother, at some point she says, I want to discover the girl behind this curtain of chemistry, which is very beautiful to say. So she takes the risk of taking her daughter off medication to really give her the chance to be herself. And nobody knows what is this self. And then she catches up with everything in a very short period of time. And of course, the whole family and the environment is totally under trying to control the situation, because they didn't expect her to explode in this way.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the trailer of the film.
Für dich.
Dora, du bist schwanger.
Gehen wir jetzt neue Jeans kaufen?
Dora, du musst uns ganz genau erzählen, was passiert ist.
Scheinpöbelchen ist schön. Ich will auch heiraten. Fahren wir nach Las Vegas?
Klar.
Wer soll sich ums Kind kümmern?
Ich.
Now, many of the shots in the film are sensual and erotic to watch, but the way you depict sex is very frank and it seems very realistic. Tell us about this choice.
Well, if I want to make a film about sex, and this is my first film where I really have explicit scenes, I think it's very important not to shave off the edges and to really get your actors into the boat, to get rid of all feeling of shame, and to really enter into the story of two bodies. And which sex is the story of two bodies experiencing a form of communication. And Dora, being mentally disabled, she, of course, this is her way. She can express herself without words. And that's, I think, why it's so frank. And it needs to be so frank, because otherwise I think we would, again, show the conventional way of two people making love.
It's a very complicated subject. You must have done a lot of research. I mean, did you learn a lot? Tell us about your journey.
Yes, it's been really, truly a voyage. It's been, first of all, very difficult to finance the film. And after all those years of putting together the movie, it felt like now retrospectively as if this child wouldn't have been able to was not allowed to be born, you know. So I fought her to live, for her to live, and to bring her on the screen with Victoria Schultz, who is really a marvelous, talented young actress. And then I was just very deeply into the subject of what does it mean to bring up a child with a disablement, and what does it mean also for the environment, because you want to care for this child, but at the same time sometimes this care, you know, turns into control. And the most important thing is to allow Dora to be to have a self-determination, to be, you know, in charge of her own body as long as she enjoys it. And that's the difficulty for her mother.
Now, it is a taboo subject, but it has been tackled over the years. Notably, in 1962, there was a film that was nominated for Oscars called David and Lisa. It's about two mentally disabled teenagers who meet in an institution and fall in love, and how that sort of stresses out the people around them. They really can't cope with it. It was directed by Frank Perry and was remade for television by Oprah Winfrey. Do you think this subject is being tackled enough by filmmakers?
Well, right now it's almost a wave coming up, because I think the question of equal rights is now really highly debated. We see it with all minorities in society, which is important. And then suddenly at the point where sexuality is debated, we give equal rights theoretically, but what when mentally disabled people really demand it and they fully grasp for it? Then it's a whole different story, especially if somebody like Dora falls pregnant. She wants to be like everybody else in the world, and that's why she also wants to have a family. So she falls pregnant, and how do we deal with this? So that's where the drama of the mother steps in.
Well, these two female perspectives, mother and daughter, are very important, as are the themes fertility and motherhood. Another recent film that showed in Cannes is called Next to Her. It also focuses on two female perspectives, that of two sisters living together in Israel. One is caring for the other, who's also mentally disabled, and problems occur when she actually finds a boyfriend. Why do you think filmmakers are concentrating on female relationships when it comes to this?
Well, maybe it's because it's female directors coming up now. Being in Créteil, the Women's Film Festival, I think a lot about this. And I think we make choices that are maybe more intimate. When we shot this film, we were so often in, you know, bathrooms and toilets, or just different spaces than when male directors make their films. You know, it's like, wow, there we are at a huge station, let's block the highway. So this is maybe the reason. And we are, of course, we are the child giving, you know, people. So we want to deal with what it means to have a diversity of children in this world. And also, of course, we face all the time the question of prenatal medical tests. And this is all kind of gearing us towards the idea of what children are allowed to be born in this world and what children should not be born in this world. And that's why women deal with this issue.
Okay, well, the actress, as you said, Victoria Schultz, plays Dora. She's extremely impressive. She was here in Paris with you when the film was first shown in the festival, and we had a chat with her. She talks about her role.
The special thing about Dora is that she's a character for a movie who has a very special kind of movement in her body and also in her language. One day we just play like we were animals and really get like in such kind of, playing with your body, because this is what Dora is. She's really in her body and not so much in her mind.
It was so impressive watching her. What do you want people to feel when they leave the movie theatre?
Well, there's so many questions I ask in this film, and I never wanted to give an answer. What I wanted the audience to go out is with the questions: how would I deal with this situation? How do I position myself morally in this story. And, I don't think anybody goes out of this movie saying, I think someone like Dora shouldn't have been born. But also, it's not the story of everything will be fine in the end. It leaves it open who will raise the child. I show the conflict, what it means in our modern society where everything should be perfect, what it means to raise a child like Dora. And also, I show the mother who, at the same time, she wants to live her own life. The question is, how can I be an autonomous person at the same time being a mother?
So many questions that come out of it. The film is called Dora, or the Sexual Neuroses of Our Parents. It's being shown at the Créteil Women's Festival just outside of Paris. The festival goes on to the 27th of March. Now, to end the show, you've chosen some music from a band who were playing there. Tell us about your choice.
Okay, I saw eBay. That's a band, two women. They are Cuban French, and they sing in a language that is called Yoruba from Nigeria. So they kind of work on the history of slavery in Cuba. They are the daughters, they're twins, the daughters of the percussionists of Buena Vista Social Club. And they are just great performers and wonderful musicians.
Well, we'll leave you with Ibai, and this is Ghosts. Stina, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a real pleasure to have you on the show. Remember our website. We're also on Twitter and Facebook. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.